Preet,
This
I can hear you.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Now, the last class, what we learned is more about ethical, more about hacking. But this class, we will understand about ethical hacking. So, first of all, we need to understand who is an ethical hacker, role of an ethical hacker, and there are three triangle information security, which every ethical hacker should go through it. Then there is something called 5 phases of ethical hacking. Okay, so we need to know this before we even touch the main chapters. Very important. Okay, and I told you the first 2 days will be a little theory, but this theory will makes you a huge important when you start working on practicals. So let's understand who is an ethical hacker, or what do you mean by ethical hacker. Now, before I start, remember, there are only two ways anyone can do with respect to hacking. There are only two ways. Okay, he can try any other ways, but fundamentally, there are only two ways. What are those two ways I'm talking about? The first one is you're a hacker. The second one is you're a target system. In between hacker and target system, please understand there will always be a security measure. Just like when you enter into a shopping mall, there's a metal detector, right? Or when you go to a five-star hotel, they scan you first, right? It is exactly in online. If you're using a computer, if you're using a website, if you're using a mobile app, there will always be a security measure which will not allow unwanted things to happen. But then as a hacker, how can he get access to the target system? There are only two ways. One, either he has to bypass, means go behind some back doors or a basement which is not protected, or the second thing he can do is to break that firewall, basically break the wall, break the doors and get on it. These are the only two ways a hacker can do, so keep this in the mind. Either he can bypass or he can break it. So depends on what method you use. Based on that, your weapons, your bullets, your method, everything changes. So you want to attack from a aeroplane or you want to attack from the ground, it's as simple as that. So based on that, your strategy also changes. The question is, what do ethical hackers do? What is their role? Okay, so you need to know what is your roles and responsibility. Where is your limitation stop? Okay, and that is what I'm going to show you here. The first thing is, in an organization, what do ethical hackers do? They talk to the client, discuss the needs to be addressed during the testing, prepare and sign an NDA document, means non-disclosure document with the client. Then they'll organize an ethical hacking team, prepare a schedule for testing. They'll analyze the results of the testing, take a screenshot of potentially valuable information, save the log. Then the report will have the compilation of the potential risk in a computer system. They'll maintain the confidentiality when performing the test. They'll perform the test up to, not beyond, agreed upon limits. And finally, they present the report to the client. Now, this is a framework of a ethical hackers, what they do. So you know where you stand. You know when you work in a company, what is that you're supposed to do. So that's the reason I wanted to be very clarity, and I wanted to bring that into this class to tell you what does an ethical hacker do about it. So this is a typical framework. Initial client meeting, sign NDA, evaluate the plan, conduct the test, report and document it, and present that to your client. So this is the steps what you have to do as an ethical hacker. What is the advantage of an ethical hacker in an organization? What does he do? He detects the security threats. He increases the productivity of the company. Okay, how do you think he will increase the productivity of the company? See, when your systems are strong and secure, there will not be any disruption of the business. There won't be sudden stoppage of your business. Now, for example, there's a sudden fire in a building or a fire alarm. What happens? You need to leave your system and everyone has to vacate the building. Now that is a complete loss of time for everyone. So if your business is continue, I don't think they will have any problem in productivity. You tell me, which one do you feel safe, Paytm or Google Pay? We have seen a lot of cases where Google Pay has been hacked, whereas Paytm has always been strong. So people will believe in it. So the third thing is it can guard your reputation, inspire customer confidence, and of course protect your customers or clients. So these are the major advantages of ethical hacker in an organization. Okay, some more advantages are they are mainly to recover the lost information, especially if you have lost your password, to perform penetration testing, to strengthen your network security, to put adequate preventive measures in place to prevent any security breaches, to fight against cybercrimes, to protect information that is going into the wrong hands, to build a defensive mechanism to avoid hackers from penetrating, to test the organization infrastructure security. Okay. Now, for all this, information security have come out with three major pillars. Okay, the three pillars which every information security works on. What am I talking about? The first one is called as confidentiality. The second one is called as integrity. The third one is called as availability. Now, this should be in your mind forever. Okay. So, because these concepts are based on the topics. Okay. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay. According to you, what do you mean by confidentiality? In terms of security purpose, what is your understanding with respect to confidentiality? Anyone wants to answer?
Confidential data, I mean, that should be accessed by the particular members.
Protection of man. Yeah, Pawan and Abhishek, both of you are almost very correct. Important organization, very important. According to this is the meaning. Confidentiality means making sure the information is only seen by people who have the right to see it. Keeping information secret from unauthorized access is probably the most as important aspect of information security. Okay, so very important. Do you think anyone can access your Facebook page or YouTube page? No, right? You need to have username and password. Means right person is accessing right data. Even if I steal your username and password, I will still not be able to log in because nowadays it is asking OTP from your mobile. So most of the applications is a two-step verification now to make sure that it is you who is logging in. So confidentiality, the first security pillar is making sure that data will reach to the right person and not to the unauthorized person. What kind of data? It could be name, date of birth, contact information, your bank account details, professional information, email account details, social media profile, medical reports, family information. I think this is extremely personal and it is only to the person who has the right to access it and see it. So that is called as confidentiality. Okay. Now, second one is integrity. Okay. According to you, what do you mean by integrity? What is that security has to do with integrity? Anyone can explain? I hope you know the meaning of integrity. Anyone can answer? Fantastic, Pawan. Very good. The data should not be modified. Absolutely correct. So basically, integrity means Maintaining the consistency, accuracy, completeness of information. It involves keeping information from being altered, changed, or ensure the data cannot be altered by unauthorized people. Okay, I will share you a okay, for example, say if you download a movie from torrent illegally, do you expect 100% video to be downloaded? Yes or no? Do you expect 100% video to be downloaded? Definitely no. There will be a missing a few minutes, or clarity would not be there, or print print or something like that, right? Because you know that when you do it from torrent, there is a chance that integrity is not maintained. So in an organization, if your boss sends you an attachment about some company documents, now that means he has maintained consistency, accuracy, and completeness. He's not sending you half related data. So that is where in the company, with respect to information security, integrity plays a very important role. The third point is availability. Now, what is availability? You make sure data is available 24 bar 7, 365 days, right? Whenever I ask. Who should ask? Authorized person should ask. For example, even in the middle of the night, if I log into facebook.com or twitter.com, I will be able to access the data, right? Even if I do net banking, I know I can do it even in the midnight because it is available to me. If the data is not available to me when I want, then that data is useless. So the three pillars is I have to make sure confidentiality, integrity, and availability. The entire security works on these three pillars, friends. So, but there you can always tweak it to whom you want to share, what amount of data or how much complete you want to share the data, and when you want to show the data, you don't want to show them in the midnight, you don't want to share the available the data for weekends. It's up to you. So entire thing is basically on confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and what we call it as, we call it as CIA triangle. Is an information security model which is widely popular. It guides an organization effort towards ensuring data security, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I hope this is clear. Please make a note of it. Okay, so it'll always be. I would prefer you to write down things. The next thing is in an organization, please understand they are micro teams within the information security department. Means they will have something called as red team, they'll have something called as blue team, they'll have something called as purple team, and they have something called yellow team. I think they'll have something called orange. But the most popular or most widely teams are these three things: the red team, blue team, and the purple team. But you should one thing always understand is that red team is always against the blue team. Now, what is this red team and blue team? Okay, it's a very interesting one how organization work. So I'll show you. So first thing is, what is a red team? What is a blue team? Okay, now this is the answer for you. Red team are the one who is offensive. They hack into anything, virtual, digital, physical, software, or hardware. Blue team, they are defensive. They patch up, they're remediating, mitigating. Means within an organization, they will create two different teams. One to break the wall, the other one to protect the wall. Why do they do these exercise? Is basically to understand if the hackers can break the wall. Before that only, I want my team to break the wall and check if there is any loophole. So basically it is like a tug of war. So I want to see whether my defense is strong or offense is strong. So in this way, pull and push, pull and push, pull and push. And that is how I make sure my company is completely secure. And that is what is called as red team and a blue team. And they always fight each other and they never share information to one another. Red team sometimes will not disclose method used to infiltrate the system, while blue team won't say how red team attacks were detected and defended against. So that's how powerful and strong they are. Okay, but then nobody shares the information to other team. Then what happens? This entire research knowledge is waste. So for that, they have a third team that they have deployed, which is called as purple team. They are like a mediator. So they collect information from both the team, but they don't disclose to other teams. Okay, so that is called as a purple team. Okay, but there are so many other teams in an organization. So like this, there's a yellow team, orange team, red, purple, blue, green. I'll anyway share this PowerPoint. You can see each team what they do in the information security. Bigger organization like Amazon, Flipkart, Apple, Microsoft, they do these kind of things to make sure the information is safe. Am I clear? Okay. I think Pawan has left the class. Just wait for a minute. Abhishek, any luck with the laptop?
Pardon, I cannot hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to ask you, you got the right laptop to install the softwares and
Yeah,
all?
yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. But I have not been able to install Kali Linux as of now. It was a large file. It has not been downloaded as of now because the
Yeah,
net
it's
speed
a
is
large
slow.
file. It takes some 2-3 hours to download. You have to keep it open
So
for the internet.
yeah, I'll do that today.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll continue. I think he's not responding. Okay, why to waste time? Okay. Okay, I have a good question to you. When will you know that you're hacked?
Uh, when there will be many instances, like if, for an organization, if its secret information is out, he gets to know that from his own people, or he gets some idea about information leakage from his home
Okay,
systems.
I'll take that point. Any other way?
I think if my system gets corrupted or is not responding in a particular proper manner,
Fantastic.
I lose data, or I am not able to recover data in time. My data is not accessible to me in time.
Fantastic. Okay, yeah. More or less, yes. Fine. I'll show you. I think you're in the right track. But a few more things which you should know when you know that you're going to get hacked. First thing is unusual network traffic. You're not supposed to get traffic from this place, that place, and suddenly you're receiving it from, say, Korea, from Pakistan, from China, and then you realize there's something wrong with the traffic. Second is unusual activity through a privileged user account. Usually this particular account is only handling HR related activities. But suddenly I see some finance related activities also happening in that account. You know there's something wrong in that account. Third, as you said, bundles of data maybe should have been in so and so place, but it is seen in a wrong place. That means somebody has moved it, somebody has altered it, somebody has edited. That's how you get to know. And taking a lot of time to load a website. Maybe a person next to you might be able to access the website, but you from your computer not able to access the website, or maybe taking a lot of time to load. That's where you get to know that you're something wrong with your system. Multiple login failures. You know, sometimes we might forget the password, makes sense. But if you're putting the right username and password, and still it is showing failure, that means something has happened with your password cracking, or somebody has stole your password, and that could be a hacking. Multiple requests on a server. Assume that you have a server, you start getting request which is unusual, which is normally you don't get that kind of a request, you know it's getting hacked. Multiple requests on the same file. Now I am a HR. Suddenly somebody is asking continuously that one particular file. 100 people today asking me the same file. Something is fishy. Means something fake related things are happening. Unexpected shutdown or restart. Yes, you might get today saying that you need to restart to update or upgrade your operating system. Fair enough. But if you're getting to second day, third day, fourth day continuously, that means something wrong with your system. And finally, unexpected increase of traffic to your website. Normally, you might get some 30-40 people visiting your website. Suddenly, one day you see 1 lakh people, 2 lakh people actually visiting the website. So something out there is not right. So these are the things where is a catch point for you to know when you are getting hacked. So very important all these concepts for you to go through it, understand, because this is the interview questions also they will ask. When you think you're going to hack, and at least if you can answer technically 5-6 points, and that's why your concepts becomes much stronger. And tomorrow when we do practicals, I will show you how to suddenly shut down somebody's system, how to give multiple requests on the server, how to create a multiple login failure. All that will show you practically, and that's the reason when I'm doing that, you will remember this. So when will you know that you are hacked? These are the points. Okay. What are the different types of cyber crimes that you are going through? One, spam, sending unauthorized emails. That these emails will contain only advertisements, which you know about it. Identity theft, stealing personal information from somebody by impersonating them. Means I will act like I am MS Dhoni. I'll act like some like a bank guy and maybe start stealing data from you. Privacy violation, exposing or misusing info like email address, phone number from social media and Google. Nowadays everything is available in Google or Facebook. I pick it up and I can misuse it. That's a privacy violation. Then you have ATM fraud, which we saw yesterday, how much of fraud that is happening in ATMs. Then you also have electronic fund transfer, like they will send you a QR code or they'll send you a link, you click on it, suddenly amount is transferred from you, and that's nothing but electric fund transfer. Sharing copyrighted files like torrents, right? Those books, movies which is illegal and you can get to download, right? That is it. Look at this statistics. Digital video piracy cost movie and TV industry at least 29 billion a year. Studies says it is estimated that at least 2.3 lakh jobs were lost because of it. That's big theft. There's something called denial of service, which anyway you will know as we learn, because there's a separate topic on DOS, and we will see how practically we can shut down other person's computer by doing some attack. That's something which you will be learning about it. What kind of roles you will have when you work in a company? You can become a penetration tester, bug bounty, cyber forensic, security analyst, security engineer, ethical hacker, security consultant, web application pen tester, mobile application pen tester, network pen tester, infrastructure pen tester. See, there's so many ways you can work in a company, and in so many ways the company requires people to handle all these kind of roles. Okay, now before I go to the last thing, I have to explain you about 5 phases of ethical hacking. Very important. Okay, if you can note down, it will be great. 5 phases of ethical hacking. Now, what are those 5 phases? First one is called information gathering, or it is also called as footprinting. The second phase is called as scanning, or it is also called as enumeration. Third one is called gaining access. Fourth one is called maintaining access. And the fifth one is called covering traces or covering tracks. Now, please understand, any hacker in the world goes through these steps in an order. Nobody else in the world will go apart from these 5 things. So that's why it's very important that even our subject is designed in this way. First, what we do is, even in our next chapter, we do something called as footprinting, and there's something called as reconnaissance. Okay, or it is also called as information gathering. What do we do here? First step or first stage in ethical hacking, as the word itself says, footprinting. This is a pre-attack phase where attacker, means the hacker, observes a target before launching an attack. It may include target organization, client, employees, operations, network, systems. The whole point of this phase is to get to know about the target. I'm sure in the military also, I think they do the same thing. I think first is to gather information about that person. Okay, it refers to pre-attack phase. Okay, the whole point of this phase is getting know about the target. And then what you do at this point of time, what is that you need to collect data. This is what you need to collect data. Who are the important people in the company? Okay, that is what you need to answer. Then who do they do business with? Okay, what public data is available in the company? All these things you need to find out. The more the time hacker spends gaining information about the people, system, and the company, the more the successful the hacking will be. So I need to know, what is it a high value target? Is it really worth it to target, or is it not really low value target? And even if it's a high value target, is there any way to hack? Any loopholes? Can I target a particular employee in that company? Maybe I have a friend over there. I don't know. So the more the information, that's the first stage in ethical hacking. Okay. And then second stage, we call it as scanning or enumeration. Now this is nothing but advanced information gathering system. Here also we'll be gathering information, but here we will usually gather something more technical. So after gathering all the target organization's information, we will scan any loopholes in any company's network. In this scan, hacker will look for weaknesses. Okay, what will he look for? Any outdated application, any open services, open ports, any equipment which you know that they are using in their machine. Okay, so that is what you will learn over here. The scanning of three types. One is called as networking scanning. The other one is called as port scanning. Okay, and the other one is called what is that? Port vulnerability scanning. We will go through all of these three things. Okay, end of the scanning, I will know how many systems are alive, how many systems are responding to my request, what is their IP address, what is their MAC address, what is their operating system, what softwares are they using inside the company, okay, which you're gonna go through it, and what all the loopholes are there for the softwares that are running inside the company. So these are the things which you will be able to detect in the second phase. And you will also see enumeration, which is again related to scanning. Then you have the third phase. That is the most important thing, which is gaining access. So first is two stage, you complete gathering information. Now you get into the gaining access. At this point of time, the hacker has all the information he needs. And now he has to deploy all kinds of methods to hack the target. Okay, so now he's ready to attack, to shoot, to fire, and that is what he does. So first he designs a network map, then he has to decide how to carry out that attack. And there are many options for him. He can do man in the middle attack, brute force attack, spoofing attack, DOS attack, overflow attack, session hijacking, and BEC attack. Now all these things you will learn as we go on to understand different types of attack. Right now at this point of time, it might look Greek and Latin for you. What is all this variety of attacks? But just keep this in your ears, that's all. And when we do chapter wise chapter, we will be doing phishing attack, we will doing man in the middle attack, we will do brute force attack, we will do so many varieties of attacks. Okay, so that's a stage 3. Stage 4 will be something called as maintaining the access. It is not just about one-time entry. You have to make sure that you have continuous access. Once an attacker has access to a target system, they want to keep access available for future use. This is typically done using tools like something called backdoors, rootkits, software. Once the system is in control of an attacker, they can use it as a base to launch additional attack. The system that has compromised is sometimes referred to as a zombie system. With access to IT account, the hacker begins to make copies of all emails, appointments, contacts, instant messages, files, okay, and which he can edit and delete or do what he wants at the later point of time. Okay, so that is called maintaining access. See, when you got access to your target, what if he shuts down the system? You will also lose contact. And when he restarts the computer, you should again get back his access. And that is called as maintaining the access. How can you maintain access? You use certain tools like backdoors, rootkit, and malicious software, which will you see also in the class. Finally, the last step is covering the trends. Obviously, right? Once you have gained access, you have maintained access, what is that next thing? An intelligent hacker always clears all the evidence so that in the later point of time, no one will find any traces. Okay, and that is what a covering tracks is all about. Because you want to make sure you are, because you are not a suicide hacker, which we saw yesterday. Because suicide hacker is okay. Even if he gets caught, he goes to jail, it doesn't matter. But we are not suicide hackers, right? We could be white hackers or we are gray hackers. Okay, or we could be script kidders. Now he has to make sure he clears off all the paths so that tomorrow nobody should be able to. Okay, see, prior to the attack, the attacker would change their MAC address, run. Okay, so what are the ways he can cover the tracks? Now, these are the ways which he can cover the tracks. If you see here, first he clears the cache and cookies, modify the registry values. Okay, he can delete the logs, clear out sent emails, closing all the ports, or uninstall all the application he has used for hacking purpose. So many possible ways he can do it. So this, my friend, completes the 5 stage of hacking. Okay, this is how the overall hacking is actually. So if I take you through the PowerPoint, the first step is footprinting and reconnaissance. Okay, this anyway explained. Second one is scanning phase. Then you have gaining access. Then you have maintaining access, and finally clearing the tracks. And if you're an ethical hacker, you will follow the same step, and finally you do reporting. Okay, but a hacker will not do reporting. No, he will disappear after covering the tracks. But as an ethical hacker, you will do one more step, do all these things, and if you succeed, report to the client saying, boss, your system is not safe anymore. That is called as a reporting. Okay, so these are the 5 different phases you have when it comes to ethical hacking. Any doubts in this? Okay. And very important for you to know certain terminologies, because we keep using this in a regular terms. One is called as vulnerability. I'm sure you know what do you mean by vulnerability. Means loopholes. Okay, means weakness. So that whenever I use the word vulnerability, please keep in the mind it's a loophole or a weakness. So if you see the second one, what does it say? Existence of a weakness, design, implementation of error that can lead to an unexpected event of compromising the security of the system. So that is the meaning of vulnerability. Next, you need to understand is, because there is a vulnerability, you can exploit it. Means take advantage. of the weakness. Okay, and there's something called as payload. This is a software which will do the dirty work. Okay, that's a payload. So basically, in your language, I can say exploit is like a gun, and inside a gun, a bullet will be there, which is called as payload. Okay, so which we will be using this regular terms. Next, you have zero-day attack. You should know this. What is zero-day attack? Zero-day attack means lot of times. Okay, I'll show you live attacks which people are trying to do. Okay. One second. I just don't remembering the website name. I'll just show you. Yeah, this is a site which says fireeye.com. What you see here is constantly from different countries. Okay, some kind of attacks are happening, but they are not successful. So this is a very good website. Okay, it tells the local time, and it also tells down financial service, service consulting, telecom. These are the websites, top 5 reported industry in the past 30 days. Continuously see from China, from Japan, Korea to United States. Not many people are doing it to India, but sometimes it happens from India also. So constant something or the other attacks are happening. But most of these attacks are known to people. But what is zero-day attack? Okay, zero attack means, like for example, in the year 2019, okay, COVID was a zero-day attack. But now it is no more zero-day attack because we have vaccine, we have knowledge about it, we have experience about it. So now again COVID happens in say 2020, in 2022, then it is just an attack. So that means if the attack, which is a new attack, which is not known to anybody, we had no idea how this kind of attack happened, new variety of attack where there is no solution for it, that is called as a zero-day attack. Okay, so that is one more terminology you should know about it. And next one is daisy chaining. Okay, or you can understand doxing. So what is doxing? Okay, so zero-day attack means completely new attack. Doxing means any data collection from the public sites, like collecting information from social media, Google, okay, or any other place which is publicly available, and you're collecting the data from there, and that is called as doxing. Okay, so these things which we'll be using regularly: doxing, zero-day attack, payload, exploit, vulnerability. So these are the terminologies you should be able to remember it. Okay, so we're done for today, day 2 class. So day 3 class, what am I going to do is I'm going to explain you about few Linux commands. Okay, because we need to understand Linux commands before we hit the main topics. Okay, because everything happens through your Kali Linux. So that's why please install it. First install Oracle VirtualBox. I think I have mentioned there, Oracle VirtualBox. Then download Kali Linux. Okay, and there's also one more which I've shown, which is Metasploitable Machine. These three things is a must to create a kind of a lab for your hacking related. Okay, so if you need to make sure that by tomorrow you have your Kali Linux up and ready, so that we can start along with me. You can practice. That is very important, so that you will, if you have any doubt, then and there only you can ask me. So make sure your Kali Linux is there, and if you need my help, I can you can give me access to your system. I can check if the download is proper or not, or if you're able to do it by yourself, well and good. If you get stuck up, you can take a photo and send a screenshot to the WhatsApp. I'll be able to help you out. You need any help, Abhishek? You want me to go and check, or you'll be able to do it by yourself? Ah, fantastic. Okay, please go through this recordings, go through these concepts, and tomorrow we'll start the practicals. Okay, so have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 12:30.